I believe sports is a way of life. Mixed martial arts has made an immense change in my life. It has shaped me as a person and who I am today. Therefore, over the past 8 years, I have acquired extensive knowledge and a special set of skills that I am forever grateful for. My story begins like this. Ever since I was born, I was a very active kid. I enjoyed playing outside with my sister, whether it was kicking a soccer ball, throwing hoops, riding bikes, or playing tag. Yet, never in my life have my parents signed me up in any sport. Back in 2008, when I was attending MacArthur Middle School in Santa Ana with my sister, my dad decided to enroll us into a Taekwondo school. My sister and I had no idea what we were getting ourselves into. After our first class, Catalina and I were immediately hooked. We enjoyed every minute of it, to breaking boards, learning different forms, and being part of intense sparring sessions. After 5 years of intense and dedicated training, I reached my goal of becoming a second-degree black belt. Taekwondo taught me many things, not just the punches and kicks, but perseverance and self-discipline. Over the years, I have also learned how to have self-confidence and how to face my own fears. You must believe in yourself in order to achieve anything in life. Additionally, Taekwondo has taught me how to be responsible and many more significant traits that are required for a healthier and better life. Then about 4 years ago, I joined Team Oyama MMA and Fitness. One day I was searching online where the closest MMA gym was located at, and I came across Team Oyama. What stood out to me the most was the amount of classes the gym offered, from kickboxing to Muay Thai to Jiu-Jitsu and to fight team training classes. And so the manager, Ron, who is also a professional MMA fighter, was the first person I met when I walked in with my sister on our very first day. Ron took his time to show us and correct our technique for the first year we were there. Coming from a Taekwondo background, our transition into a kickboxing Muay Thai style was very smooth, but different in a way. I was very excited to be training at the same gym alongside with UFC fighters. Fighters such as Ian McCall, Carlos Barza, Chito Vera, Alex Perez, and the list goes on and on. I looked up to all these fighters. I admired the way they trained day and night. During a class, I would glance at the ring where the pro fight team class was taking place, and I wanted to be in there with them. That was my goal, and I stuck with it. I told myself I would make it there one day. After 2 years of training, I quickly got the hang of it, and I had an unbelievable stand-up game. That's what I thought. One day, after a normal training session at 5:30, I was getting ready to go home. As I was unwrapping my hand wraps, I was approached by Colin Oyama, the head coach of the fight team. So many emotions were going through my head. I was nervous, scared, speechless, and excited at the same time. First off, Colin Oyama is a legendary MMA coach. He has more than 20 years of experience. As a matter of fact, he has coached many well-known fighters such as Tito Ortiz and Rampage Jackson. And so he approached me and asked me to get inside the ring. You may ask what was happening exactly in the ring. Well, the fight team class was starting. I quickly jumped up and started to wrap my hands as fast as I could. I honestly did not believe this was happening. I was inside the ring with former UFC strawweight champion Carlos Barza and other badass fighters. On top of that, I was already tired after the 5:30 class. So the class began with everyone shadowboxing, just moving around the ring and warming up the body. From start to finish, I was nervous. I did not know what to expect. The first half of the class was going by great, just drilling with partners. The second part of the class was sparring. I did have sparring experience since in Taekwondo we sparred every single week. MMA sparring is a whole different level. The only difference from Taekwondo sparring was that wrestling, takedowns, elbows, and submissions are allowed. The first person Coach Colin put me against was none other than the former UFC champion Carlos Barza. Those 5 minutes were honestly the longest 5 minutes of my life. If you go hard, then your opponent is going to go hard as well. The round started. Carla and I were going back and forth. With my Taekwondo background, I was throwing many kicks to keep that distance between her and I. I did have the reach advantage since I was taller than her. I could tell that she was getting a bit frustrated with the head kicks I was throwing. I was landing punches and she would return with a jab cross hook to the head. Even though I was blocking the punches, I definitely felt them, and they were indeed coming with a lot of power. Towards the end of the round, I threw a low kick and I felt it land perfectly on her right leg, and that really ticked Carla off. In my head, I was like, damn, what the hell did I just do to the former champ? And so she returned with a nicely placed body kick that left me out of breath. Let me tell you, she put all her power into that kick, and I knew I had paid for what I did. Right after she did that, the round was over. We touched gloves and moved on to the next training partner. And that was the time where Carla left me out of breath. After class, Carla came up to me, introduced herself, and complimented me on my fighting style and to keep up the great work. I'm very thankful for the opportunity Coach Colin gave me to jump into the fight team class. I can officially cross that out of my bucket list. After jumping into the pro fight team class, Coach Colin was impressed and kept inviting me to train with the fight team. It is an honor. I have learned that as long as you push yourself, you will achieve your goals, and to never let no one ever tell you no, because you're ultimately the one who determines what you're going to do. Without having my Taekwondo experience, I would have never thought that I would train with these high-level mixed martial artists. Having self-confidence and believing in myself got me to that position. I am very grateful for having Taekwondo and MMA in my life. As I mentioned, mixed martial arts has shaped me to the person I am today.